Yeah. 1 day away from SummerSlam. Let me give it to you like this. We got stuff here that's kind of confusing. I'm being honest here. We got stuff here that's kind of confusing because, how can I describe this? When it comes down to it, some stuff that should be for SummerSlam is here. Some stuff that's meant for after SummerSlam is here. Now, I don't know if that's good or not. I'm telling you, I don't know. Honestly, you guys decide. Opening. We got LA Knight against Sheamus. And let's make this clear. I am one of the... I don't care if JD will claim him as I knew he was great from the beginning. He did not. Just Alex, I knew he was great. He did not. I was there. I saw both the videos when LA Knight first appeared on the main roster. Didn't know what to think of him. And, well, not the main roster, but NXT. Didn't know how to feel about NXT. And didn't know how to feel about him on the main roster. And he won their asses over. He won them over. And I'm telling you right now, I am one of the few, one of the first who knew this boy had something. And look how he motivates the damn crowd. He basically called some people some nitwits, some cross-eyed, dim-witted goofs, and everybody ate it up. And he went up against Sheamus. But then we got all of the people they showed on screen that's going to be in the Battle Royal. There's supposed to be 25-man Battle Royal. And we got a few of them right there. The ones that Vince wants to spotlight. I will tell you this. The match itself was fine. It was not bad. Seeing everybody else out there, pretty typical. Let's make this clear. This is a typical thing from WWE. But I will say this. Instead of waiting until after the match, everybody came out. Now, mind you, they've done it before. But at least it somewhat felt alright. Somewhat. Because we have seen this before. They will come out during a match. The match breaks down. It breaks into a brawl. Someone wins. And then everybody gets into chaos. So, LA Knight won due to the fact of some of that chaos. That's how it went. But I will tell you this. Was it a bad segment with the match? No. But it was average what we normally see. Now, let's make this clear. The OC, that match with the Brawling Brutes only came because of the brawl that happened during the match between LA Knight and Sheamus. Now, if anybody has not seen Sheamus' channel, Brave Change, LA Knight is on that show. And he does his work out there. I would recommend you check it. I have seen it. And the very opening of it, and I gotta say this, the very opening of it, he's talking with Sheamus, and he says when he was a little kid, he's eating cereal, and he's doing a muscle, seeing some cartoons on TV, and as he's eating and seeing the muscle, he thinks his muscles are growing. You got to see it. It is damn funny, but it's true. He said it happened when he was a kid looking at Hogan, and looking at TV, and there you go. And He-Man, he reminding himself of He-Man. Not He-Man Revelations. I've seen it. It's bullshit. But you get my point. And pretty much, this match really didn't mean much. But then it gets you a little confused. Because we had Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford come out. And they whooped their ass at everybody. Wouldn't this have been better at the pay-per-view? Wouldn't this have been better after the pay-per-view on the first, Smackdown of the show? I mean, Smackdown after the pay-per-view. So, it's a little confusing. Was this good for them to do it here with Bobby Lashley, who brought them in? I don't know. I can't tell you. Only thing I can tell you is that they did it here. And I don't know what would have been better. It would have been better after SummerSlam or on SummerSlam. You guys tell me below. I just don't believe this made sense. And I don't know where it belongs. Next, we got a quick match from Cameron Grimes and Austin Fury because of what happened with Santos Escobar, that he attacked him during the brawl. Then Santos wanted to get him back again while this was going on, where he almost basically lost the match to Cameron Grimes, but I knew he wasn't going to win. He wasn't going to lose. Cameron was not going to win. Cameron was basically cannon fodder. That's what he is. He's basically put in front of the cannon to basically alleviate the damage. I'm not saying it was great, but it was done. And then Santos did it anyway. He got back at him, which I think wasn't wise. It wasn't necessary for him to get him because he did the attack during the first match. Now in this match, Santos gets him back, which didn't need to. At least one of them could have had something going in the pay-per-view. Now it's just dead even. And it's not necessary. Now, let's talk about Rey Mysterio. Suppose he's got whiplash, and he basically is out for the moment, and they are monitoring him day by day. We already know that was faked, and they just didn't want him to lose clean. So the question is going to be, how long will it be before he gets back into the ring? Because we know next week that we will be seeing him on NXT with Dragon Lee dealing with a Dom. That we're going to see that next week. So how long will it be before he gets back in the ring? Will it be several weeks? Will it be a month? I don't know. Let me say this. The segments that we saw with Charlotte, with Bianca, and with Asuka, I'm going to tell you this. Charlotte looked the strongest. Bianca I didn't give a damn about. She needs to be healed. And then Asuka felt like she was non-existent. Now I'm going to explain it. Let's talk about Charlotte Flair. We get to see her on maybe a 10 or 20 or $50 million yacht in a freaking bikini, saying that she is everything. She will be a 15-time champ, and drinking champagne, maybe eating a little caviar, don't know. Pretty much they made it all about Charlotte. Whether she wins or not, this was still about Charlotte, and this is what people are not going to get. If Charlotte has the greatest presentation out of all the three of them, whether she wins or not, she got what she wanted. She got the most spotlight, period. Whether she wins the title or she doesn't win the title, WWE is invested heavily in her. Then we get Bianca, who basically feels like a moron. And I'm saying it clearly. Bianca feels like a freaking moron. Because at this point, trying to say again and again that it's unfair what she went through, but I'm going to do the work. You tell me how high I got to jump, I'll jump how high. You tell me where I got to crawl, I'm going to crawl. Really? Bianca feels like an idiot for saying that. She should be beyond that. She should not be doing the atypical face thing. She's been screwed not once, not twice, not 3 times, I say roughly 4 times, and been outshined multiple times by either Asuka or Charlotte. She was even forced into a tag match with Charlotte that she didn't want to do. Where is the rage? Where is the anger? This is stupid unless, and I say this now as a prediction, if she wins that damn title, she better turn heel. If she doesn't win that title, she better turn heel and go with her husband. She better. When I get pissed off, I go like this. Because if Bianca Belair does not turn heel at SummerSlam, you can write her ass off. Because she has gone as far as a face can go. She's done. They must turn her face to heel. They need to. It is over. Let her join her husband. Let her join Angela Dawkins. Let her join Bobby Lashley. Let her be that staple. Let her be there, because at this point, there's nothing more for her to do. If she wins the title and goes back to being a face, what does she gain? Nothing. If she loses and still stays a face, walking out with her music, twirling her hair and dancing, what does she gain? Nothing. It's done. Finally, Asuka. I saw the vid pack from her. It was fine. But do I believe Asuka? No. Look, Asuka is one of the two champions on WWE TV. Who did they spotlight the most? Has it been Asuka or has it been Rhea Ripley? Rhea Ripley, the one who has super big shoulders, shows a lot of damn cleavage, and everybody wants to stick something in the mommy. I'm not trying to be nasty. I'm not trying to be sexist. This is what both men and women want to do. They see a woman in all leather, showing a lot of boobie, showing some ass, good looking in the face. They want to stick something into her. Whether it's a natural occurrence or it's artificial, they want to do something. So the one that's being spotlighted the most is the one that really do you actually care about when it comes to her match? Because I don't. She's already over. I don't feel anything about Rhea Ripley worrying about her match. I don't even remember if she even has a match. She probably does. I don't remember. Asuka. I feel nothing from Asuka. I don't feel nothing because they've shown her running most of the time. They've shown her always in trouble, either with Io Sky, which I'll get to in a minute with Grayson Waller's effect, Bianca, or Charlotte. I've seen nothing from Asuka. Nothing great from her, except dancing around, maybe getting a moment. And there goes my Bret Hart picture. I will tell you this. I'm just like, it's empty with Asuka, and she deserves better. Now let's go to Grayson Waller effect. What did we get from Grayson Waller, Bayley, Io, and Chelsea? We get Chelsea scaring a Bayley with some nail clippers, basically hair clippers. You get her talking and not giving an Io the moment to talk, and she's about to talk, and she realizes she ain't getting anywhere. She puts the mic down and she backs off. And then she gets a fear or scare because Chelsea was in her tank when she wasn't. That was Zelena Vega, who her opponent is. And pretty much a Bayley running off because Chelsea almost cut off her hair. I believe I have a picture in my face if I'm putting images in, which admittedly lately I've been like, I want to edit again. That might be a good thing, guys. I might start doing intros again. I might. But what do we get from the match between Io and Zelena Vega? Zelena Vega wins one day before the match that supposedly Asuka, Charlotte, Bianca, and even Io has a moment in. What does that really mean for Io? What does that mean for Zelena Vega? Let me say that again. Zelena Vega. Look, I love Zelena. I'm not against girl. I'm not against Thea. I'm not. She had a moment in Puerto Rico. But I don't see anything happening other than just using her to promote the storyline. They gave her a win, which doesn't really mean she's going to gain anything. So, why? Why didn't you do this after the show? After SummerSlam? Do that for Io when they're back on SmackDown the night, the week afterwards. I thought that would be better. I'm moving on. What do we got here? What's left? Well, the last match. That's Jey versus Solo. Now, opening was fine with Paulie. Jey coming out was fine. Solo coming out was fine. The talk was at least new. It wasn't 100% different, but at least you see that Jey was talking to Solo directly, saying, look, you're my brother. You'll always be my brother. I forgive you. But Roman ain't going to get nowhere. And what you see over there in that corner, he's going to get got too. Pretty much that's what he was doing before the match. Then we had the match. Now, did this match need to happen? Honestly, yes. Because if Jey can't beat Solo, there is no way that you can think him going up against Roman again. In other than a tag team. he had to beat Solo, which he did. And used a spear to do it and a Uso splash. Then he got his ass kicked a little bit afterward, and that's Jey. But then Jey got over on his brother Solo. And they closed the show with Jey looking good. Now, what does this mean going into the final match of the night, tomorrow night? I can't tell you. Because I'm not going to. Because that's a prediction I'm not going to do. I don't do predictions anymore. Everybody likes to do a prediction. It takes the fun out of it for me personally. I know once in a while some people say, hey dude, will you do a prediction? I don't do them. It's very rare I'll do them because maybe it's an important thing, or maybe at that moment I don't mind thinking about it. But I don't do predictions because it spoils it. I want to not think about it. I want to be surprised. And this is why I want to be surprised. But not. I'll give it to you like this. For almost 4.5 months ago, maybe 5 at this point, I made a video, who is the real head of the table? I made it. I said something about Jey Uso. I said that Jey Uso could become the new head of the table because of how they booked it back in 2020 during the pandemic era and afterward, and how Sammy was involved in the story. How Sammy said, I acknowledge you when he had to break away from the bloodline. When it was broken, he said, and he only went to Jey, I acknowledge you. That was the first moment that you could easily say Jey is going to be the next tribal chief. And during the conversation with Paulie, he made it clear the first thing he talked about was to become the brand new tribal chief, and secondary will be the WWE Universal Undisputed Champion. If I'm doing the Undisputed Universal Champion, I can't remember. This is where it's going to be interesting. If Jey wins, and I'm not saying he will, he should, because they need to get more mileage out of the Bloodline storyline, because I'm going to explain in a minute. But if he doesn't win, the Bloodline storyline is stalled, because there's nothing left for them to do. There's nothing more Roman can do. He can't. He can't beat Jey and then go on what's going on. They can't continually have this fight. There must be a change. The next change would be for Jey to win. And he should win here. The key of this is the bloodline, not the title, not Roman. The bloodline storyline is the most sought after story that many networks want right now because people are watching the Bloodline network. Well, not Bloodline. The network for the Bloodline storyline. That's what I mean. I kind of combined them. That's what happened when you're dyslexic. But guys, seeing disrespect, the networks currently love the Bloodline storyline. Peacock loves it. Currently, Fox is loving it because people are tuning in. The only way to continue this story is for Jey to become the new tribal chief and current champion. It doesn't matter if he loses the title back to Roman. If Roman can't get the moniker back, the Bloodline storyline continues with Jey. And that's what I think JD's not going to understand, or just Alex is not going to understand. If they hadn't already figured it out, the networks want the Bloodline storyline to continue, to keep fresh. The title is secondary. That's why Jey said, I am going to be the new tribal chief. That's why he told Solo that I will forgive you. You're my brother. They must continue the Bloodline storyline. The title means nothing at this point. What this is going to come down to, if I am doing this correctly, if I book this correctly, and the WWE is following something similar to what I'm booking, this is what's going to happen. Spoiler. Jey would win both the moniker and the title. Eventually, Roman would get the title back. But it's not the point of the title. Roman will still have Solo and Paulie by his side. Jey will have Jimmy, and he will have Sammy there as well, because at this point, Sammy could go over to SmackDown periodically, even though I don't like it, and he could help deal with the situation. The situation here is this. The Bloodline storyline must go full circle. It must. If you think the Bloodline is over, it's not. This will end next year at WrestleMania. Because by that time, if they book it correctly, you will have Roman Reigns rejoin the Bloodline. He will rejoin it by next year if they maintain this. Why? Because as of this moment, the war is not over. If Jey wins, the war is not over. Roman's no longer the champion or the head of the table. He may still have Solo by his side, and he may still have a Paul Heyman by his side, but he does not have the moniker. And at any time, either one of them can be pulled from him. Remember, Paul Heyman has been known by the Anoa'i family for a long time. He has. My Via family is known by Paulie for a long time. The only thing that needs to be done is that once Jey wins and gets those beads put on him, the lave on him, and he becomes a tribal chief, the only thing he has to do is literally tell Paul, leave him. Tell Solo, leave him. If you don't, you're in trouble with me. And they will eventually go there. They will have first Solo go back with the Bloodline. It will happen. I'm sure both of them are going to say it. JD and Just Alex will eventually say that Jimmy will come in. Then Solo will go back as well. But it will not be because he's going to go back because he loves his brothers. It will be because he'll be ordered to. He will be eventually ordered to return or face the consequences. That is what's going to happen with Solo. Eventually what will happen. They'll be fighting in between it. And he won't agree at first. But eventually he will join the Bloodline. Then Paulie will be forced into it. Because Paulie will be told possibly by either Alpha or Sika. Or maybe Rikishi coming in. That would be good. And tell him, you got a choice, Paulie. Either you come back to our side, or you will never have connection with us again. And then he will go. And the only one will be left by himself will be Roman. And he will spend months struggling and losing and getting angry and being confronted by Jey, Jimmy, Solo, or even Paul himself. He will be confronted by them. He will either attack them, he will run from them, he will either hide from them, or he won't talk to them. Any one of them. But in the end, by possibly next year, Roman will rejoin the Bloodline. And it could be The Rock who help him do it. That might be the final step to go full circle for Roman through the Bloodline. And then once that's done, the Bloodline story can be basically phased out. Quietly, slowly, you won't hear the moniker anymore. You won't hear Jey being the current head of the table. They will just fold away from it, and they will become the Usos. Solo will go on its own, and Roman, counting on how much work he's going to do in Hollywood once the strike is over, because the strike isn't over yet, for the writers or for the actors. Remember, Roman wants to become an actor. But right now, the writer's strike and the actor's strike has a 6 set. He can't do anything unless he goes to an independent, he goes to the independent, studios to try and do work that way. That's the only way anything is going to be done. But if he's part of the actor writing, part of the guild for the actors, like the Screenwriters Guild, he can't do anything. So until then, he's got to do this. And he will do it, counting if they will go down that route. But this is just me, and I hope you enjoy this. Watch for my SummerSlam review. Peace.